Hello and welcome to Dateline Lagos on Channels Television. I'm Ayo Tunde Balogun. Coming up on the program, Lagos State Security Trust Fund holds 16th Town Hall meeting on security. LASG-USAID partner to bolster energy, and Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu supports rescued street children. Let's begin the program with security matters. For the third consecutive year, Lagos State has recorded no single case of armed robbery attacks on banks and other financial institutions operating within its boundary. Now, this is according to the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who made this known to stakeholders at the 16th Town Hall meeting on security in Lagos. Take a look.
The Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, arrives at the venue of the 16th Town Hall meeting on security, organized by the State Security Trust Fund at the Civic Center, Victoria Island. It's a conversation that concerns every Lagosian, the public and the private sector, the police, the Nigerian Army, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, FRSC, and Lagos State Traffic Management Authority.
In the 16 years of its existence, the fund has continued to remain relevant.
The Lagos State Security Trust Fund gives an account of its stewardship, including its challenges and achievements in the year under review.
Mr. Governor, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, from the foregoing, it is clear that we have a serious security resource deficit, which we must deal with decisively. The Trust Fund has shown capacity, resilience, tenacity, prudence, and accountability over the years. Hence, the need to speak to its funding challenges. An entity that has shown that in the last 16 years to be the mainstay of support to these agencies, from vehicles to communication gadgets to police accoutrements, bulletproof vests, etc., cannot continue to function on voluntary donations. We can't continue to wait on people's discretion and benevolence. The harsh business climate is also a large contributing factor. So we must leverage on the huge population of Lagos and exploit new frontiers for us to get steady stream of income. The cost of goods and services, devaluation of our currency, inflation make nonsense of even figures as high as 1 billion naira. Because in 2013, 1 billion naira would buy 233 vehicles. This year, we can barely buy 35 vehicles with 1 billion naira. So it tells you that the figure sounds big, but there isn't much it will do. The needs assessment, as I've stated, is high because of all these things I've mentioned in the past. And I think in addition, there are also increased warnings by security agencies, both local and foreign, of possible attacks in Lagos, which is not insulated from the rest of our country. As this is an election year, political violence is another clear and present danger, and many people have been drawing our attention to. Hence, the need to provide the capabilities to secure lives and property in the next few months as we approach the general elections.
Reviewing the crime reports between November 2021 till date, the State Commissioner of Police reels out success stories of the Lagos State Police Command.
With the continuous enforcement of the ban on motorcycles operation in major parts of the state, incidents of robbery in traffic, occasioned by the use of motorcycles as a gateway, have become a thing of the past. Below is the precious or summary of the achievements recorded by the command from the 1st October 2021 to 30th October 2022, as indicated on the table. We have all these statistics in our various books displayed to us. I'll go through this later. From the summary of the cases recorded in the command within the period of this report, as highlighted above, out of 170 robbery cases carried out by groups, 149 were foiled, while 21 was successful, with 146 suspects arrested in connection with the crimes. 128 among the armed robbery suspects arrested are returned to court, while the investigation into the cases involving others is ongoing. In the same vein, 52 cases of court-related cases and an arrest of 240 courts were recorded during the period. All the suspects have been arraigned before the courts and their trial is progressing. It's also noteworthy to mention that 14 vehicles were stolen by hoodlums in the states, while 30 vehicles were recovered. The figure of the recovered vehicles include those stolen from other states but brought to Lagos for disposal. A total number of 205 murder cases with 240 victims were recorded, while 207 suspects were arrested. Out of the 409 murder cases, 339 have been charged to court, while investigation is ongoing on other cases.
Governor Sanwo-Olu tells the gathering about the LSSTF model adopted by the state in raising security standards, which has been effective, urging private sector donors to contribute their quota for the sustainability of the fund.
Let me say that the approach that we have conducted on security in Lagos State is an holistic one. The concept of human security that places a premium on guaranteeing that citizens have access to health care, to education, to food security, to financial enhancement opportunity, to shelter, to ensuring that the development of a total being is capable of being reached its fullest potential. All of these things we believe can only be sustained and be kept under a very safe and secure environment. And so therefore in Lagos State, we must never lose sight of the big, complete picture of an all-round security architecture. All of our programs are geared towards the provision and expansion of the opportunity for our people, especially the young minds in our society. We're determined to ensuring that no one is left behind for as long as you remain a worthy citizen of this great state. And I think this is also reflective of the economic promise that we gave 3.5 years ago when we came under the team's agenda, which I'm sure you all know too very well now. The last letter in that pillar is security and governance. Lagos State government security policy is driven by the need for a wholly secure environment that enables the well-being, prosperity, and fulfillment of the people of the state. You all know the indices. You all know that this is the center of excellence. You all know that this is the commercial economic nerve center of our country. You all know that it's the biggest developed city in the whole of Africa. You all know that it has a space in the GDP component of our country. And so this responsibility beholds on us that we must do this and we must continue to keep this city safe and secure for not only ourselves, but for also our international partners and visitors. And so our effort has yielded results, I dare say. We have continued to keep this city, this mega city-state, largely safe. It continues to remain, and is not just a cheap chop. That is the safest part of our country. The last 3.5 years, we have continued to maintain the record of 0 bank robbery in our state. You see, we might not understand it, but for some of us that are in this state, we've been part of this before. On this same road that we have the Civic Center, on this same street, several years ago, when this place was a dump site in itself, we knew the story then. We could, remember how very much it was also very difficult for some of us to ply on this road. That's the story that we need to remind ourselves. These are some of the things that we need to bring forward today so that as a people, we do not forget where we all started from. And so my appeal is for all of us to see this as one arm of a government-private sector relationship that has delivered so very well. An arm that has stood the test of time, because it's not 5 years, it's not 10 years, it's doing 16 years. I want us to have a Lagos Security Trust Fund 25 years from today. I want us to have one that will still be in existence 10 years from today. And the only way to do it is for you to have a role and to have a leg and an arm into it. And to be able to hold the men that will continue to bring us on the board accountable and responsible. And so I believe that the call that we're making today is that we want to build this fund bigger, better than what it used to be.
The Lagos State government says the deployment of digital surveillance in combating emerging crimes is beginning to take shape, with the rollout of technology tools, high-definition cameras to monitor strategic locations across the state. He calls on residents to collaborate and provide information to security agencies whenever they notice suspicious activities within their communities.
From security to the energy sector. This time, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has appealed to members of the House of Representatives to allow input of sub-national governments in the Electricity Bill 2022 to help unbundle the difficult issues surrounding generation, transmission and distribution of power in Nigeria. Well, Governor Sanwo-Olu made the appeal at the Lagos House in Ikeja during the handover ceremony to celebrate the completion of the Lagos State Integrated Source Plan, IRP, to bolster the overall energy security for residents, which was commissioned in partnership with the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, and Power Africa. Now, this is part of the Nigeria Power Sector Program, PANPSP.
Sustainable development goals and investment.
The administration of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu is taking bold steps towards improving electricity supply in Lagos. The state government is partnering with the United States of America in the area of energy, and the governor formally receives the Lagos Integrated Resource Plan report funded by the United States Agency for International Development under the Power Africa Nigeria's Power Sector Program initiative at the Lagos House, Alausa, Ikeja.
So we can actually have one. Yeah, each have one. Yeah, there we go.
The plan will provide sustainable energy to Lagosians and meet long-term electricity needs of the state over the next 20 years.
As you know, there's no gainsaying. Electricity is a core foundation for long-term sustainable economic growth in Lagos, which is a core function of the BOS themes agenda. That's the Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu themes agenda. Without electricity, we're not going to achieve the growth that we intend. From the advent of this administration, he has made it clear that electricity is a focus of his. And one of the ways we've identified towards achieving the electricity transformation of Lagos is to take Lagos State distribution away from the national grid. This IRP helps us document the infrastructure requirements and the gaps that exist. And it gives Lagos State a medium-term, a short-term, and a long-term strategy to achieving the power sector stability that we want. So this IRP handover ceremony is a milestone for us because it then sets us on the path to start to address the investment needs of the electricity sector in Lagos. So again, I want to thank you all for being present. I want to thank the USAID and the US government for their support so far for the electricity sector.
The United States Consul General in Lagos, William Stevens, in his address describes electricity as the basis of economic growth, trade and investment, and reaffirms the United States' readiness to help Lagos achieve sustainable energy.
As Lagos continues to develop as Africa's preeminent megacity, it's vital that infrastructure progresses with adequate resources to effectively manage this change. Lagos is predicted to have a 270% peak increase in electricity demand by 2040. This remarkable growth is something that is predicated the Integrated Resource Plan and looks to increase the overall energy security for Lagos State through targeted investments in generation, transmission, and distribution over the next 20 years. Electricity is the basis for economic growth, it's the basis for trade, it's the basis for investment. And everyone who knows me knows I talk about trade and investment incessantly, because I truly believe that the United States of America needs to be a partner with Nigeria as you are on the cusp of incredible growth. And this plan will power that growth. And I'm so proud to be a part of it and to be here together with you. It's so wonderful to see the great work of our U.S. government agencies like USAID, Power Africa, and our partners who are here to do this together. And you keep hearing me use the word partner because it really is a partnership. As we work together, we are finding solutions to the problems we all face. These are global problems, and we're working together to find African solutions to those global problems.
Governor Sanwo-Olu says Lagos is the first state to come up with the IRP initiative. He believes other states should take the challenge of proffering solutions to their peculiar power needs.
When we came in 3.5 years ago, it wasn't such a difficult decision to make, given what our own economic agenda is, to sit with US aides, at that time, and we said to them, if you truly, really want to help us, this is how we believe we can design the help, right? And Mr. Bajumo, who is an industry expert, and his team at that time came around and said that, you know what, let's start from the real brass. Let us actually do a deep dive to understand, before we begin to go shop for solution, what critically are the problems? What are the things that we need to have first before we begin to, to go out there to say that, well, these are the ways in which we want to solve it. And that's what we plan on. That's really what, the African Nigerian Power Sector Program, which we used as an integrated resource, planned for. The integrated resource had been able to help us, and you can see from the presentation, deep dive further as into what are the issues, and how can we identify those issues with all of the stakeholders in the room, and how do we chart a course, to be able to solve that problem. And it's taken us in about 2 years or a bit more than that. COVID also slowed everybody down, but I'm indeed happy that it wasn't just a talk shop, it wasn't just a consulting job that didn't get to anywhere. Now we've seen the result of the very, very deep hard work, that the whole team, has put together, and I think they deserve another round of applause. Thank you very much. I know that a lot of people might not be able to analyze, the report because it's a very technical report, but for industry players, I think this is the way to go. And I'm happy that Lagos is also taking this lead again. We're the very first in the country to have come up, with an integrated resource plan. And why are we going this route? You can see the two biggest distribution companies, are in Lagos. They are not sharing with any other jurisdiction. They are both, serving, the energy needs in Lagos. And we've seen it. Up until now, this thing has been centrally controlled. It's been a very difficult thing to unbundle and to, and to be able to, enter into the power sector. These will be one of the things we'll be talking about. There's been some form of privatization and liberalization, but we still need a lot more. There's a bill that is currently, with the National Assembly, specifically in the House of Representatives, that we need to make, a big case about. And gentlemen of the press, please help us to ventilate this further. We want in that bill for the honorable members of the House of Rep to call the governors or to call the subnational, the state, so that we have proper input into this bill, so that we can, finally, unbundle all of the bottlenecks in the in the power sector, so that we and they can see what our challenges are, and we can sit down together and they can bring about, a bill that is bankable, a bill that will help, private sector funding and financing into this sector, and a bill in which everybody can move at their pace. Every location, Lagos can actually, demand to analyze what their demands are and what their future demands will be. And this kind of bill will help all of us, do a good job, of our work.
With the Lagos Integrated Power Plan documents now in place, officials of the state electricity sector have their work cut out to ensure that residents and business owners have access to power.
And finally on the program, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has approved the provision of working tools and equipment for 100 of the street children trained in various vocational skills. The governor gave the approval after listening to heartbreaking narratives of how youngsters suffered social exclusion and then ended up on the streets.
These 120 youths at the Lagos house Alausa Ikeja are victims of low parental attachment and family disintegration, picked up on the streets by a female talking drum artist, Ara Lola Olumuyiwa, popularly known as Ara. She welcomes Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu with her talking drum. It's an emotional moment for the governor as he listens to stories of young boys and girls picked up from the streets of Lagos by Ara, the brain behind Echo Inspire Me, a project he supports.
In 2019, sir, because at some point I got frustrated and I refused to do the project. But God took me on the journey that I didn't know He would take me, sir. I lost everything. I was homeless. Your Excellency, sir, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my street kings and street queens. The day I realized what I did wrong was the day God turned my life around. I picked up this project again. I cried to God. I said, God, here I am, take me. You want me to help your children and I will do it. But give me a sign that this will work. We have gone to different places, but on the long run, sir, the day you called me, last year, I was driving out on a Sunday with a reporter because I wasn't expecting that call. That call changed my life around. Well, we are greeting to different governments. You were the first to respond to us. You were the first. Wow. One house. You were the first to respond to us, sir. And when you said to me, Ara, go ahead, we'll give you all the necessary support. People said to me, sir, yes, 95% of people said to me, but you shocked everybody when you said, Ara, go ahead and do it. Thank you, sir. When we got to Abeokuta, they went for mentoring section with Baba Obasanjo. When I got to Baba Obasanjo said to me, nobody has done this before. Who gave you the go-ahead? And I said, His Excellency, my governor, the executive governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu. It's on record. Baba really appreciates you. He mentioned it. When we went for the mentoring section, about last week or 2 weeks ago, last week Wednesday, Baba still mentioned it. And it is, you are the first. And that is why by God's special grace, you are coming back, sir. Now, my street kings and my street queens here, a lot of them were not born bad. Circumstances. Ara, Inspire Me by Ara is here to bridge that gap, to give them that hope. Because God took me through it so I can know how you feel. I was hopeless at some point. God took me through it so that I can know the agitation you guys feel when you don't know where your next meal is coming from.
The victim stories are now turning positive through Echo Inspire Me project. About 1,000 street children are now being redeemed through the Social Welfare Initiative. They are rehabilitated, trained in a vocation, and empowered to be responsible citizens. Governor Sanwo-Olu urges the rescued street children not to give up on their dreams, but rather take advantage of the initiative to develop their talents. He reassures them of his commitment to reintegrate them back to society.
So I want you to tag along with her obey the rules and the regulation. Work with her to ensure that all of the programs that she's going to bring out for you, try as much as possible to comply. Whatever we want to do for you in terms of support, once she's able to place it in our front, God will give us the ability to do it. And we want to use you as an example that there are lots of others there outside that we need to do. Ọ̀pọ̀ àmúkúrọ́ ṣùgbọ́n Ọlọ́run á fún wa ṣe. Ọlọ́run á dá gbogbo ètò ń fi pé kò ṣeé ṣe á dá padà sí ṣíṣe. Inspire me, inspire my Lagos, Èkó inspire me. Abi, we'll be monitoring most of you. I will not just let it be a one-off event. I will ask her as we go along, how are you faring? How are you turning up? And like I said, please don't give up on yourself. Don't give up. Only a difficult about me, but there is hope. Okay? There is hope. Hold on to her very well. Continue to pray for her. We call on Ofuni Oye Imo. Call on there she ilẹ̀kùn fún tó máa fi lè rí ojú àti àyè láti fi ṣe.
The Eco Inspire Me project will no doubt go a long way in reducing street children in Lagos State.
And that's the program for this week. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. Until we come your way again next time, remember to always stay safe. Bye for now.